Welcome to Sports News. We begin with basketball. The Tigers forward Al Farouk Aminu has returned to court after missing 13 games due to a calf injury. The 26-year-old Nigerian started the first 8 games of the season for the Portland Trail Blazers, but has not played since injuring his left calf against the Phoenix Suns on November the 8th. He finished with 3 points, 3 rebounds and 2 assists in 17 minutes of play as Portland edged the Chicago Bulls 112-110. Arsenal secured top spots in Group A of the UEFA Champions League after beating Swiss side Basel 4-1, while French moneybags Paris Saint-Germain played a 2-2 draw with a Bulgarian side Ludogorets Razgrad to relinquish the top spot to the Gunners. Elsewhere, Italian side Napoli beat Benfica 2-1 away, while Ukrainian side Dynamo Kiev went goal crazy, putting 6 goals past Besiktas. Catalan giants Barcelona also beat Borussia Mönchengladbach 4-0. Super Eagles forward Kelechi Iheanacho scored for Manchester City against Celtic, but the Scottish side held on for a 1-1 draw at the Etihad Stadium. Bayern Munich got their pound of flesh against Atletico with a 1-0 victory in Munich, while PSV Eindhoven and FC Rostov played a goalless draw. Meanwhile, a top Qatari football official is confident that security at the 2022 World Cup would be top-notch. The Assistant Secretary General for Tournament Affairs for the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy, Nessa Al-Kheta, says that lessons will be learned following cases of hooliganism at Euro 2016.
Security is always a priority for any event. And being the largest sporting event in the world, it also becomes more important that your security measures are top-notch. Yes, I think the incidences that happened in the Euros 2016 I'm sure have made the security personnel look at things differently right now. And it's just about taking measures to be a lot more careful and taking measures to be a lot more to ensure the safety and security of the fans. You won't have the pub around the corner. You don't have people drinking alcohol in public places. However, alcohol is available in designated places. It'll be the same case in the World Cup. There will be designated areas that serve alcohol. There will be areas such as public squares and other public places that don't serve alcohol. However, for the fans who want to drink, they won't have a problem with that.
Moving on to boxing, former heavyweight champion Vladimir Klitschko believes Wembley Stadium would be a fitting venue for his planned world title unification fight with Anthony Joshua on April the 29th next year. The Ukrainian will be watching from the ringside as Joshua defends his IBF heavyweight title against Eric Molina this Saturday night. Plans are in place for Joshua to face Klitschko next year, with the WBA super title also at stake, provided the 27-year-old Londoner defeats Molina this weekend in Manchester. Klitschko has fought in a number of football grounds in Germany and will welcome the opportunity to battle Joshua in front of an even larger crowd at England's National Stadium. And that's it on Sports News. The rest of the news continues in just a moment with Ijoma.
The first former child soldier to appear at the International Criminal Court on war crimes charges has pleaded not guilty. Lord's Resistance Army Commander Dominic Ongwen said the LRA was responsible for the crimes and he had also suffered from the atrocities. Mr. Ongwen is now in his early 40s and he was a boy when he was abducted by the ruthless rebel cult.
Dominic Ongwen, who was abducted and pressed into service as a young teenager in 1988 in the group's guerrilla war against the government of Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni, faces 70 charges at the International Criminal Court.
Where was this one? charges as untimely.
Earlier, judges had rejected as a delaying tactic a last-minute request by defense lawyers to postpone the trial opening.
The request to halt the opening of this trial is therefore rejected. The request to order psychiatric and/or psychological examination to ensure that Mr. Ongwen understands the nature of the charges is equally rejected. In this context, the Chamber recalls the Appeals Chamber judgment. Mr. Ongwen, please rise.
Dressed in a sober suit, Ongwen appeared unsure of his surroundings. Asked to stand by judges, he rose only after the guards surrounding him interpreted the order with hand gestures. They interrogated Ongwen to establish if the unschooled rebel, himself abducted as a young teenager, was mentally fit to stand trial. Ongwen said he understood the charges, but insisted they were against the LRA and Kony, its leader.
It was the LRA who abducted and killed people in northern Uganda, and I'm one of the people against whom the LRA committed atrocities.
Ongwen faces charges of war crimes and crimes against humanity for attacks on refugee camps in northern Uganda between 2002 and 2005, including committing or directing acts of rape, sexual enslavement, and of conscripting child soldiers.
6 weeks before he takes office, President-elect Donald Trump wants to cancel orders for new planes to carry the American president. Mr. Trump tweeted, "Boeing is building a brand new 747 Air Force One for future presidents, but costs are out of control, more than $4 billion. Cancel order." As President and Commander-in-Chief, Donald Trump will have the power to cancel the contractor. If this goes on, it could cost the U.S. taxpayer even more as the new president tries to save money. The U.S. government has already signed a contract with Boeing for $170 million with additional funding earmarked for the two new planes. Boeing shares fell more than 1% after the president-elect's tweet. And the main news again. President Muhammadu Buhari will on Wednesday, December the 14th, present the 2017 budget to a joint session of the National Assembly. This was revealed on the floor of the Senate today by the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, who read the President's request to the lawmakers. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Honyato. Do have a good night.